Am I just sitting in a snow-covered car in my own driveway? The answer is yes. I thought today, since I've spent the last few weeks being a little bit snarky, though most people will agree my personality is about 75% snark, 25% sarcastic, that I would depart from that today to talk about things that do not bother me. A few weeks ago I talked about things that people do in exercise classes that drive me insane, and I thought we would counterbalance that by talking about things that people think bother me about exercise classes, but actually I don't care about at all. The number one thing that people apologize to me for is for being a few minutes late to class. Now, if you're somebody who is just habitually late and you're just being late for the sake of being late, I might get a little bit irritated eventually. But for the most part, I don't care. As long as when you come in, you do so in a non-invasive way so that you don't just like run across the room and are just throwing your stuff down or whatever. Come on in, get yourself situated and join in with the class. I'd much rather you arrive 2 or 3 minutes late and get your workout in than think, oh no, I can't go because class started 2 minutes ago, and stay home. I know some studios actually lock the door, and that's probably because the instructor is the only person there, and if they're not at the front desk, nobody's at the front desk, so they have to lock the door. That is not the situation with my classes. If you happen to come to my class and the door is closed and you can't get in, knock, wave, do something, and I will let you in. I'm not closing the door to keep late people out. I'm just trying to keep the noise down. Conversely, another thing that I don't mind is if people leave early. If you're somebody who is always leaving early just to get out of doing the stretch because you don't think it's important, that I will take a bit of an issue with. But in my case, most people who are leaving early are leaving for a good reason. Maybe they have to get to work. Maybe they need to get home. Like, I'm not gonna take issue with that. Other times people leave because they have appointments and things, and all I ask is that if you know that you're going to leave early, let me know, let your instructor know, so that we know what's going on. Once in a while someone will leave partway through class because they're not feeling well, and usually they're kind enough to send me a text or a message afterwards to let me know. Basically, that is my only concern when you're leaving early, is that you are okay. I would like to know that you've made it home in one piece, just for a little peace of mind. Another thing that people often feel a little bit sheepish about is if they've been coming to my classes and then they stop coming and then they see me out in the store or at public event or something, and then they start to apologize and say they're so sorry they haven't been to class. You don't need to apologize. It's very, very easy to get out of the habit of coming to an exercise class. It happens. I understand. Maybe you stopped coming because the time frame didn't work for you anymore, or you were trying something different, or you just stopped because you were sick to death of seeing me. All totally valid reasons, all things that you do not need to apologize for. If it's somebody who comes really regularly and they have been missing for a couple weeks, we do get a little bit concerned as to where they are, mostly because we're worried that they're sick or ill or something's happened, not because shame on them, they didn't come to class. So if you know that you're going to be away for a few weeks and you're super regular in your exercise class, your instructor might want to know. We are people. We do worry about you. Sometimes people will also apologize if they choose to do something different during a workout routine because they have an injury or a pre-existing condition. You don't need to apologize for that. It is very helpful and important that if you have a new injury or new health issue, that you let your fitness instructor know or your trainer know. Not only may we have some guidelines for you, but we can also give some exercise alternatives so that you have something to do during those moments when you can't do what everybody's doing. A few months ago, I had someone who had a broken pinky toe, and she was like, I can still do most everything. I don't think I can do lunges though. So we gave her a different lower body move to do during lunges. It's not a big deal. It's important that we know what your situation is. Another thing that is really important, even if you haven't told your family yet, if you know you are pregnant, you should let your instructor, your trainer know. We're very good at keeping secrets. Provided your instructor is trained properly, we can give you the information on what to do and what not to do during workouts to keep you safe and your baby safe. Conversely, if you're starting a new program and you are newly postpartum, there are some modifications that we'll need to provide for you just to keep you safe and making sure that we give your body enough time to heal and recuperate. Even if you are cleared to go back to exercise after a week from your doctor, I've had people who were, there's still things that you need to watch out for a full 3 months once at least. So let your instructor know. I've had people who came back and didn't tell me, and I found out later, and I was like, yeah, you really should have let me know. I've also had people who were pregnant and didn't bother to tell me until they were like clearly pregnant. Yeah, that would be helpful to let me know. So those are just a few things that don't bother me about fitness classes and participants that a lot of people think about or worry about. That is it for today, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Car Confessions right from my own driveway. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe, like, comment. If you're on Facebook, like, and leave me a comment and make sure that more of my stuff shows up in your feed, and I'll talk to you guys next week.